of chicken chow mein with Egg Foo Young. You're going to need a couple ingredients. I don't have everything out here, but I'll get along to that. You need some noodles, chicken breasts. These were frozen, so I've let them thaw. You're going to cube that up. You're also going to need bean sprouts, eggs, onion, garlic, soy sauce, that kind of thing. Most of the stuff you have in your refrigerator. So yeah, if you guys want to follow along, and I'll show you how to do both of these. Once you have all your chicken cubed up, here you go. You might say that does look like a lot for chicken chow mein and for Egg Foo Young, but like I said, we're going to use both in both the chicken and the egg foo. So you do need quite a bit of chicken. I think there was like 6 chicken breasts here. The next thing you want to do is chop up onion. Now I will tell you right now, grown men do cry when you're cutting onion. So this is the way I get around that. This is just a little chopper thing that you get off Amazon. Works really, really well. So I took a medium-sized onion, cut her down a little bit smaller. Stay away from it, that way you don't cry. And you go ahead and just toss that in here. Put the lid on her. Give her a couple of pulls. Give it a little shake to get some of the bigger pieces down. And there you go. Onions are chopped up and no tears. So once that's good to go, you're going to go ahead and take your chicken, put it into a screaming hot pan with a little bit of oil, and I'll show you what spices I add to it. So these are the spices that I'm going to choose to use today. The garlic and the onion, the onion and the garlic, those go in last. You don't want them to cook too far. Once the chicken's done, I will add the onion. You want to sweat them down. Then just regular old salt, pepper, got a little bit of garlic plus. And then for a little bit of heat, I got the Montreal steak spice. And then again, from my good friends at Sub Shuck and Good Food Truck, I got good old savory straight from the homeland. So we're going to add all that into it. Then we will add a little bit of soy sauce, but that comes a little bit later for flavor. So go ahead and spice it how you like. And I'm just spicing the chicken at this point, but that will carry over into your Egg Foo Young because you are using the chicken and the bean sprouts from this in your Egg Foo Young. So once your chicken and onions and garlic and all your spices are all added together and they've cooked down, there might be a little bit of extra liquid in the pan because they were frozen. That's okay, because next we're going to add in the bean sprouts. Now these bean sprouts, you pick them up at any local store. I'm using 2 bags again because I am also making Egg Foo Young. Normally, if I'm just making the chicken chow mein, I'd only use 1 bag, but we're going to go for 2 today. So I'm going to go ahead and add them into the chicken, the onions, and the garlic. If you've seasoned your chicken correctly, you shouldn't have to add any more seasoning, but you can give a taste and see where you like it. I like my bean sprouts a little crunchier, so I'll take these off when they're not completely soggy, but again, that's personal preference. So as you guys can see, there's the bean sprouts mixed in with the chicken, the onions, garlic, all my spices. The spicing, I spiced the chicken really well, so I'm not going to have to add any extra. But right now what I'm going to do is, because I don't have as much liquid as I thought, I'm going to add a little bit of water to this pan and put a lid on it. Basically what you're trying to do here is steam those bean sprouts until they're nice and tender. So while the bean sprouts and chicken is cooking, we're going to go ahead and turn our attention to the eggs for the Egg Foo Young. Now, you're going to use eggs actually in both the chicken chow mein and in the Egg Foo Young, so probably a dozen is going to work. It really depends on how many or how much Egg Foo Young you really want. For the chicken chow mein, you're going to need only about 2 or 3 eggs. For the Egg Foo Young, it really depends on how many you want to make. I'm going to go ahead and use probably about 8 eggs here. Yeah, probably 8 to 9 eggs, depending. You're going to want to go ahead and crack them into a bowl. I'm using a measuring cup. Season with a little bit of salt and pepper, whisk it. So once the bean sprouts, chicken, and everything has come to, or the bean sprouts are where you want them, you're going to remove half of that mixture, put it aside in a bowl, put it in the fridge or the freezer, get her down to temperature, get it really cool, because then you're going to add the eggs to that to make your Egg Foo Young. You don't want to introduce hot chicken and bean sprouts into eggs, or they're going to scramble right away, and that's definitely not what you want. And here's what you guys are looking for with everything all sweated down. Like I said, the bean sprouts are just perfect. They're still a little crispy, which I like. You can cook them further if you want to, but that's exactly what we're looking for. So right now we're going to go ahead and remove half of this, and we're going to put that into the fridge or freezer to cool it down. That way we can add the eggs to it to make Egg Foo Young. And then we're going to continue on with making the other half of this into the chicken chow mein. So as you guys can see, here's the half of the chicken bean sprouts, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the fridge to let you, as you can see, it's steaming. I don't want that. And then once it's cooled down, we'll go ahead and add the eggs that I have now beat and put milk into it. Let me know if you're a milk or a water person when you go ahead and make scrambled eggs. I always add milk, I don't know why. But next, now we're going to continue on with the chicken chow mein. So now that you've separated the chicken and the bean sprouts, now we're going to add eggs to this. I haven't done anything except taken out the half of what I needed. But now we're going to crack the 3 eggs into this and kind of make a scrambled egg in here. That's, I guess, where the fried part of this comes in. I don't know. But that's how I was always taught to do it. So we're going to go ahead and crack 3 eggs into this. And there you go. You got 3 eggs cracked in here. I got the heat set medium-high. Now you're going to want to go ahead and stir everything up and get those eggs all incorporated and scrambled. It's going to turn into a bit of a gooey mess until those eggs cook out. But once the eggs cook out, you'll see what it looks like. And that's then when we're going to add soy sauce to it. As you can see, this is what I'm referring to by a gooey mess. It kind of congealed, but as I move it around, you can see the eggs are starting to cook out, and they are going to cook perfectly into this. And I'll show you what it looks like once these eggs are cooked out and before I add the soy sauce. While your eggs are cooking into your chicken, now's a great time to start getting ready for the noodles of this chicken chow mein. I'm going to take regular old chicken oxo here. I mean, if you have chicken broth, you can use that. I don't have any chicken broth on hand right now, so I'm just going to use good old chicken oxo. The reason I'm doing this is because the noodles are steaming noodles, so you got to make some sort of steam in there. So there you go. You got your 2 packages. This is just a regular coffee cup. You're going to get some hot water. And I find it's best to start with 1 full cup of this. 1 full coffee cup seems to do the trick for 1 full bag of those noodles. So give this a bit of a stir. There you go. And that will go into that egg, chicken, bean sprouts, and everything with the noodles in the next step. I wasn't joking when I said that the egg would cook itself into everything. And as you can see, it's no longer a soupy mess. So right now is the perfect time to go ahead and add soy sauce. There's really no gauging how much soy sauce you want. Yeah, it looks about right for me. I'm using good old China Lily, not sponsored of course, but that's what I like to use in mine. You can use Kikkoman's or whatever kind of soy sauce you like. And now you want to go ahead and stir this around, get everything incorporated. If you feel you need more soy sauce, go ahead and add more. You want to do this before you add the noodles and the chicken soup broth that we just made. Now that you've got your soy sauce all incorporated, go ahead and grab your bag of steam-fried noodles and just go ahead and dump them right on in there. And try not to make a mess like I just did. Made a mess all over the place. Cool. And once you got that, pat it all down. My hands are clean. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and grab your chicken broth. Just go ahead and dump the whole cup right on over top. There you go. You can give it a bit of a stir, get everything incorporated, and then as soon as that's ready to go, you want to go ahead and put the lid on it. Keep it at about medium heat. That's a little high, but medium heat will work just fine because you want these noodles now to steam. If there's not enough liquid, if you find that you're running out of liquid, you might have to add a little bit more liquid. That's why I only ever start with 1 cup. Now that you got your lid on your chow mein and it's steaming under there, it's time to turn your attention back to your Egg Foo Young. It didn't cool off nearly as quickly as I want, and I'm kind of in a bit of a rush today, as you can see from the mess I made. So an easy way that you can do this to start, it's an old baking trick, to bring up the temperature of the eggs so you don't make them into scrambled eggs, is take some of the warm egg food, or the bean sprouts and chicken, and just add it into the cold eggs. Give it a bit of a whisk. And now that's going to start bringing up the temperature of the eggs here, so that they're not as cold anymore. That way when you go ahead and add it back into here, they're not going to scramble right away. So that's what I've been doing here, is slowly adding a little bit of that chicken and bean sprout mixture into the eggs. Slowly tempering it, I believe is the word that we're going to call it. So you're going to go ahead and get these a little bit warmer. Then we're just going to add this right into this bowl. That's why I have a second pan, and we're going to start making some Egg Foo Young. Now that you've got your eggs and mixture all tempered together and it didn't scramble, just go ahead and take a ladle full. You got your chicken, you got your bean sprouts, and go ahead and ladle it into a scorching hot pan right over here. Make them as big as you want or as small as you want, depending on how many you want to get out of it. While that's going, keep in mind, keep a check on your chicken chow mein here. Like I said, if it's getting too dry, add a little bit more water. If it's just right, let it go. And there you go, your chicken chow mein is done. The noodles have steamed. You want to go ahead and pull it from the heat at this point. You don't want those noodles to overcook while you're waiting for your Egg Foo Young to finish cooking. And there you guys go, dinner's ready. You got homemade chicken chow mein and Egg Foo Young, my way. This probably isn't the right way to do it, but it's how I was taught. Real question is, how does it taste? Yep. Chicken chow mein's perfect. And how about the Egg Foo Young? So good. No MSG added to this is just awesome. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Remember to like, follow, subscribe. If you have any other recipes that you'd like me to try, please send me a message or comment on this video, and I'd be happy to give it a try. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.